Good evening and welcome back to Harry's Bar for episode 4 of Stir Crazy, a sort of serendipitous little series in which I found myself teaching you all about cocktails. So, as ever, we put it up to a vote, and the vote was between a Sidecar and a Martinez, two very historic, very classic cocktails. Martinez, I was hoping would win. It didn't. The Sidecar is what ended up winning. It's a delicious drink. A Martinez, I'll do it another time. Very kind of different style of drink. But today we're focusing on the Sidecar. It's a classic sour kind of drink. So it's got a spirit with a modifier and a citrus. That spirit is cognac. I mentioned just the other day, actually, how I'd run out of nice cognac. I was using some Remy Martin for a Sazerac. I got a delivery today of some H by Ein, which is a cognac which I've not actually had before. So first shout out on this video is for my friends at Latitude. They're a wine and liquor merchant here in Leeds. Even through this sort of isolation lockdown, they are still doing deliveries. So if you are in the Leeds area and you're getting a bit thirsty, Latitude, I'll share a link to their site soon. They dropped this off today as a sort of stand-in for my usual Pierre Ferron. Looking forward to trying this out. On the subject of shout-outs, I'm wearing a hat. I just got off a bit of a bike ride and I hadn't had time. I got a shower, but I didn't have time to do my hair and stuff. I'm rocking a snapback from possibly my favourite bar in the whole world. Anybody who has been to Leeds, lives in Leeds, has hung out with me in Leeds, has visited me in Leeds, will know all about Watermark Bar. They'll know exactly who, where, exactly what that is. The only thing we haven't worked out is why or how. The bar is completely out of this world. Also, if you're in the Leeds area, I believe they're doing home delivery cocktails, so that's one to keep an eye out for. I'll share links after this little broadcast. But let's begin. So the Sidecar, really classic drink, late 1800s, I believe. And as ever, the history of the Sidecar is pretty unclear. There is some doubt as to whether it was invented in the UK or whether it was invented in France. Both stories claim that it was invented in honour of someone arriving at a bar in a motorcycle sidecar. I'm not sure how true that is. And one guy even initially claimed that he'd invented it, and then years later in a separate publication claimed that somebody else had invented it. So the history of the Sidecar is very, very unclear. One thing we do know is it's fairly closely related. In fact, it's like the grandchild of the much older Brandy Cruster. Now, the Brandy Cruster has very, very similar ingredients in slightly different quantities. And the reason I'm not going to make a Brandy Cruster today is because one of the key aspects of a Brandy Cruster is instead of just garnishing with like a peel of lemon, you actually you coat the entire inside. You've got to kind of peel a glass worth of lemon peel clean off of the fruit and sit that in the glass. No way I'm attempting that on a live stream. So, ingredients are cognac, normally Cointreau, and I do have Cointreau on the bar somewhere, but I much prefer Pierre Ferron Dry Curacao. It just gives a little bit more body. It is a brandy-based liqueur. A triple sec is orange flavoured. Lemon juice and simple syrup. So these lemon juice immediately means we're shaking this thing up. So I grab my tins and my jigger. Now, older recipes, older specs tend to leave out any kind of simple syrup because the Cointreau or triple sec would provide a small amount of sweetness. Two things here though, the modern palate is going to prefer something a little sweeter. And also, this dry curacao isn't quite as sweet as Cointreau. So for this, we're going 7.5 ml sugar, so not too sugary, and I'll explain this a lot more in a second. 7.5 ml of sugar. That's just simple syrup, equal parts by weight, caster sugar or superfine sugar, and boiling water. Next, we're going to do 22.5 ml lemon. So this drink, you can tell by the quantities already, or the sort of proportions, this is a pretty sour, pretty tart drink. You're going to be expecting a lot of citrus flavour out of this particular drink. And there are ways around this, depending on basically the drinker's palate. We're going to garnish this drink with a sugar rim, so that the drinker can actually decide how sweet they like to enjoy it. Next, we're going to do 15ml Curacao. Like I said, this is the PF one, but normally what you're looking for is going to be Cointreau. So 15ml of my dry Curacao. And finally, we're going to go for 60ml of this cognac, which I'm really looking forward to cracking open. Ba-ba-dum. So 60ml cognac. This drink is just such an absolute classic. Oh, my bad. Cool, so get this shaken down. Serving this in a classic martini glass. Give it a good shake. Now, with regards to shaking drinks, there is no kind of hard and fast rule of how long you should shake for. You know, there's an amount of seconds. The key is just get the ice in as late as possible, give it a damn good shake, and you will eventually get a bit of intuition. But until that point, you can just taste as you're going. The harder and faster you shake, the quicker the ice is going to break up, the quicker it will dilute. Right, that can do with a little bit more. Okay, and then real quick, I'm just going to give this glass a little bit of a sugar rim. So, got a plate full of just super fine caster sugar here. And to help me out, what I'll do is take myself a little bit of lemon peel. So in the interest of not wasting anything, small bit of lemon peel here. I'm going to garnish with that later. But just to help the sugar stick to this glass, where I've removed the peel from, I'm going to take a small wedge of lemon, really short wedge of lemon, and I'm just going to juice half of this rim. I'll explain why I'm doing half in a second, but then after that, all I'm going to do is lay that half of the glass through the ice. A nice sugar rim there. Now, anyone who's tuned in for a few of these episodes may have noticed I've made a huge, terrible mistake here. I've left this drink bathing in ice. So I wanted to pull it off the ice a little sooner, but I kind of messed up there. Double strain it, fine strain it to get that. There's little bits of ice shards out of there. And the colour of this drink is just beautiful. The combination of the darkness of the cognac with the darkness of the Curacao and the lightness of the lemon just gives such a beautiful colour. Okay, so the classic Sidecar, as I said, wasn't served with any sugar at all. It was believed that the sweetness from the Cointreau would lend enough sweetness to the drink. Therefore, what they used to do is they would do a full sugar rim. They would sugar the entire glass so that as someone's drinking it, they can basically opt into that sweetness. Because I added a small bit of sugar into the drink itself, what I've done is I've only sort of sugared half the rim. That means whoever drinks this, i.e. me, can basically opt into either drinking from the sugared side or the non-sugared side, depending on how sweet you like your drink. I actually prefer my drinks on the tart side. I prefer more citrus. I don't have much of a sweet tooth at all. And then finally, probably a bit overkill, potentially with lemon peel and sugar, but I'm just going to give that a quick zest in, drop that in top, and there we go. So most episodes we've done 2 drinks today. I'm only going to do 1 because I'm a bit pressed for time, but I just wanted to say have a good weekend and enjoy. I'll catch you next time.